Fighting Saints Weekly after 2 wins. Sure feels good, doesn't it? Hi, everyone. Jordan Coons with you, and we just finished up a weekend in which the Fighting Saints defeated the Youngstown Phantoms on Friday 3-2 in overtime, and the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders on Saturday 3-2 in overtime. Here on Friday from the Mystique Community Ice Center, it was country night. We had a lot of fun doing so. We had the race for the fall harvest. We had the Hillbilly Horseshoes. We had a trivia contest, finished the lyrics. It was all country all the time. Everyone was getting into it, dressed country with their favorite country music blaring throughout the game. So a real fun night for everybody here at the center. But just 2 games in which the Fighting Saints showed their resiliency. They've shown over and over again that they're winning games in ways that they have to. Every win that the Fighting Saints have had this year has been by just 1 goal, and that's been pretty incredible for this team here this season. So a fascinating start to the season, now at 5-2, and 1 point behind the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders for the top spot in the conference. So all is well with this team right now after losing the prior 2. They have won these 2 and will be moving on to Fargo, North Dakota to face the Fargo Force this upcoming weekend for a back-to-back there. So interesting stuff ahead for the Fighting Saints. But first, let's take a look at highlights of what exactly happened this past week, because there was plenty to see, and we'll get to it right now. Friday, the Youngstown Phantoms visited the Mystique Community Ice Center, and they ran into a shot barrage. The goal scoring started when Mitchell Smith raced up the ice on a power play, creating a 2-on-1 opportunity. Mitchell Smith ripped the shot over the shoulder of Ryan Bednard, putting the Saints up 1-0. Peter Macatalo scored his first USHL goal to put the Fighting Saints up by a pair. Willie Neeram carried the puck down the wing through several defenders and set up Macatalo on the weak side. He made no mistake on the finish. Outshot but not outdone, Youngstown staged a comeback. Voscolia struck on a shorthanded defensive breakdown by Dubuque and cut the lead to 1. No more than 2 minutes later, Yoshiro Hirano broke down the wing after a long stretch pass, and he snapped a shot through Miska, and that tied the game at 2. The game headed to overtime, and it was there that Captain Keegan Ford would put the finishing touches on the victory. His shot from the top of the right circle on the power play ended the game to the tune of a 3-2 victory. 1 night later against the rival Cedar Rapids Rough Riders, it was CR that would strike first. Jack Ashawn scored on an odd man rush with a penalty expiring to make it 1-0 home team. Evan Smith tied the game for the Fighting Saints as he followed his own rebound to the net, stashing in his second tally of the season, all square at 1. Charlie Combs put forth a goal of the week candidate with his backhander from the top of the left circle that somehow evaded Ryan Larkin. That put Dubuque up 2-1 towards the end of the first period. Hunter Miska was on his A-game all night. He stonewalls John Snodgrass on the doorstep to keep it 2-1. CR would eventually tie it as Ross Colton took a pass out of the corner on the power play. 2-2, tied after regulation again, and once again headed to overtime. After a tremendous OT session, including a second spectacular denial of Snodgrass, the call of the week, the game-winning goal on Saturday night.
Susie seals, 3-on-1 Dubuque. Susie's down the right wing as Mitchell breaking. Susie's the shot, he scores! Nathan Susie! An incredible win for the Dubuque Fighting Saints. They win 3-2 in enemy territory tonight.
Back on Fighting Saints Weekly, Jordan Coons and the goaltender Hunter Miska. He got the start in both. Friday a lot different than Saturday. A lot fewer shots on Friday than it was Saturday, but what did the weekend feel like to you to get both wins?
Oh, it felt great. That was a huge win for our organization here to get those 4 points. Those really add up at the end of the year, and I think that was a huge group effort, and I thought we played great.
So Friday, you see long stretches of not having to really do much, not seeing as many shots in the first and second period, the second specifically. Is it easier for you to see more than it is to see fewer shots?
Yeah, for my game, I like taking more shots. I feel like that keeps me on my toes, and I like taking a lot of shots. That's why I play goalie. I like to stop the puck. But, it's not bad. Like when we don't take a lot of shots, you just got to keep your focus throughout the whole night and don't get back on your heels. You got to stay up and be ready for at any time.
Saturday was incredible, in my own opinion, I suppose. Just a tremendous effort from start to finish. You were at least in the third period, barrage time after time, but Cedar Rapids just could not seem to dent you. What were you feeling?
Oh, I just felt great. I felt like I was on my A game. I was real focused going into that barn, and I knew we needed to get those 2 points out of there, and we needed some big wins and keep rolling.
You sweep the weekend, going into Fargo this upcoming weekend. What's the feeling like after dropping the prior weekend and getting the 2 here this past weekend?
Oh, it feels good getting those 4 points this past weekend, and we all knew what it felt like to lose those games. We don't like that feeling, so I think we're real happy. And going into this weekend, we got to keep the same focus we did last weekend and play our game.
Thanks for this, Hunter.
No problem. Thanks a lot.
Wrapping it up on Fighting Saints Weekly right here. It's Jordan Coons with you, and the Fighting Saints now move on to play the Fargo Force. They got off to an 0-3-1 start to begin their season. It looked like they would be destined for the bottom of the conference, but not the case. 3 wins in a row, steadied by some good offensive performances. Riley Tuft is a name that Fighting Saints fans might have to look out for. He was ranked as a B-ranked skater by Central Scouting and was also having played in the Ivan Halinka tournament as well as the All-American Prospects game this past summer. A guy that could have his name called by this upcoming summer. So a guy that has been prolific offensively throughout his entire career and one that has definitely been a big reason for the turnaround in Fargo. Fighting Saints have been known to be a tremendous home team, so now their road acumen will be put on display and up to the test here. See what they can do against the Fargo Force, who again off to a slow start but have turned things around. Plenty of different reasons why. Goaltending has been a big reason why, and offensive contributions as well. But head coach Jason Lammers has seen his team win every game this season by 1 goal. That has been tremendous. He talked about it over and over again as a crucial reason of how teams, the difference rather, between teams that win more than they lose or just find themselves falling into the basement of the league. So just a tremendous weekend and one up ahead in Fargo. We'll see a lot more travel, of course, and we'll have all the broadcasts for you on Super Hits 106. Happy to have you there starting at about 6:50 on both Friday and Saturday. So should be fun up there in Fargo. This has been Fighting Saints Weekly. Jordan Coons signing off, and we'll talk to you next time.